Out here at Jeep Cherokee, and who do I run into?
What's up, guys?
30 South Off-Road. So the belt on my Jeep is making this funky squeak noise when I jump on the gas, and when I pop the hood and looked at it, my belt's not tracking straight. When I give it the gas, the belt's going, you know, it's moving one way or the other. So if your belt's not tracking right, chances are it's probably the harmonic balancer. I don't know why they put a harmonic balancer on some, dang chickens, on some vehicles and not on some. My Ranger and my Nissan have just a straight pulley bolted to the crank. Before installing, remove the plastic. Believe it or not, these things are pretty heavy for their size. It's a pulley. It's the main pulley. You're directly bolted to your crankshaft. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a, they call it a woodruff key, or it's got a little metal tab so it doesn't, so it can stay locked. But all it is, it's a pulley with another pulley pressed on with a nice thin layer of rubber that likes to like dissolve. I do not think this rubber in here is oil resistant, because this is the second one I'm putting on in about 10 or 12 years. The first repair, other than the major body work on my Jeep I did, was this harmonic balancer. It separated and moved forward an inch and hit my fan blade. So I'm driving down the road, it's going pulled over. What the hell? I thought my crank broke, which didn't make sense, but I've never seen a harmonic balancer before in my life. It's always been a straight bolted pulley. I've never really paid attention to it because I never really had a vehicle long enough for these things to go bad. But anyhow, fast forward 15 years later, my belt's not tracking right. I think it's the harmonic balancer. It's the only thing I can think of moving. I can see the rubber like coming out. When I get the other one off, I'll show you. Here's a compare video. Here's the new one. Here you can see on the old one, that little rubber, how it's deteriorated. I don't know if it's my imagination, but I could almost feel it flex. All right, so the tools I'm going to need for this, on the wall of tools, the pulley puller is right there. It's in the red box. So you want a pulley puller, but not this pulley puller. This is for your water pump. It's got this little jaw thing that clamps onto it. What you're going to want is like a steering wheel type pulley puller. It's got like the three fingers, and the bolts go into it. I don't know if I have one. I'm going to look. No sense in you looking with me. So I don't have a pulley puller, and so I went looking through my brother's toolboxes, because he's always has a bunch of neat stuff. And he didn't have a pulley puller either. But I did find this. I can't wait to play with this. I don't know what the hell it is. It says Klein Tools Knockout Punch Set with Wrench. I don't know what the hell this is for, but I want to play with it. It looks like it puts holes in metal. I like putting holes in metal. I found this kind of pulley puller. I've got something similar. This is my brother's, which I borrowed before. You don't want this kind of pulley puller either. I guess I'll have to make a trip to the store to get one. Alright, so I just got back from Harbor Tool and Freight and bought this. It's a 46-piece bolt type wheel puller set. Smells funny. Comes in a nice blow molded plastic case. It's got all your little giblets in here. So you take this, see how it's got these little bolt holes here? Line it up like that. It comes with a bunch of different bolts that you just put through here and there. And you can even just take the balancer to Lowe's or somewhere and just match up the bolts. Alright, so you have this bolts onto the pulley like that, and then you drive this in the center and it pulls the pulley off the shelf, off the shaft. Want to make sure you have either this foot or this foot, whichever one fits, in the bottom of this, because this will fit inside the threads and screw them up. And don't ask me how I know that. Very important. Don't forget the foot. I got this harmonic balancer at Napa. It was $41. First of all, I went to Amazon, which is now my go-to part store. So Amazon gets it to you relatively quick and very competitive prices. But I went online, looked at Rock Auto, which I couldn't find it on Rock Auto. I went to all the major box stores, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Advance, Pep Boys, and then Amazon, and they all had the same part number, same part, same price, except Napa. This says Napa on it, but it's a Dorman part. All the other ones had Dorman. I think they're the only person that makes this, maybe. I couldn't find another manufacturer. So I'm not too keen on Dorman. All the stores had the Dorman, same part number. $54 everywhere else, $41 at Napa. Lifetime warranty on all of them. So I went with Napa. Leave the belt on. That'll help hold the pulley in place while you try to crack the bolt loose. 1,000 cranks later. Alright, so now we're just gonna bolt this on there. The threads are all gunked up. Alright, so I had a hard time. I had to clean out the threads with the tap. Still couldn't get this one cleaned out. I managed to get a threaded rod with a nut on the back. So now we're going to try to get this all together. What a pain in the ass this has been. $1,000 cranks later. Now would be a good time to change that oil seal, but I changed it last time. I think it's wet from all the PB blaster I shot at it. Getting the new one on is kind of a bitch. Start it on by hand, then use an install tool or the appropriate size threaded rod to snug it in place. Do not pound on the pulley. I repeat, do not pound on the pulley. 1,000 cranks later. Alright, so harmonic balancer. Not hard to do if you have the right tools. Tell it's bad, you can see the rubber leaving the pulley. It did solve my belt wandering issue. I had a bit of a belt chirp, which turns out to be my air conditioning compressor, which that'll be a video next year because it's coming up on wintertime, so we don't worry about AC in the wintertime. Only when it gets hot. Two things I learned: don't beat your harmonic balancer on with a hammer. I've done it before. They say it's no good. I've never had an issue, but if you look at the logistics of it, I don't think an engine lasted 2 or 3 years after I beat one on. And I don't like the way that sounds, but it is what it is. Pound them on with a hammer. Don't do it. You're not supposed to. It's bad on the bearings, bad on the insides. What you're actually doing is you're pounding on the end of your crank. So the easiest way to get one on, piece of threaded rod. I would love to tell you the size of this, but I don't know. This is just a piece that I had laying around, left over from my sway bar disconnects that I made. Put 2 nuts on the end so you can hold this end with a wrench. Tighten this nut down with the washer, and it'll pull the pulley on. Long time, a lot of muscle, because you're only moving it. Be patient, it'll go. Get it down all the way as far as you can go with this. Put the nut in, or the bolt in, torque it to 80 pounds, then you're done. That's good. Alright, so if this video didn't kill you and you're dying for some more punishment, check out my podcast, the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. It's a podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span. And there's going to be a card up here somewhere. I'm just going to hold my finger up so this way I don't have to get it in the exact location. There'll just be a picture of me going